everyone, welcome back to my channel, Mums with Kate, where I talk about skincare, hair care, and wellness. Today's video is going to be quite different because I'll be sharing my experience with adopting a Maine Coon kitten. So I'll be sharing all about my experience with Otis here, who's 5 months old, so if that's something you're interested in, please sit back and enjoy. So I adopted Otis here, who's currently sleeping. I'll bring him up to the camera when he wakes up. I adopted him about 3 months ago. He was 2 months old, and I was lucky enough to adopt him just from a family who had 2 purebred Maine Coons, and they had a bunch of kittens and they didn't want them all, so it was perfect. And now I have Otis, and he has been quite the riot, so I'm going to be walking through what it's like to own a Maine Coon. I've been lucky enough to own a Maine Coon before, but this was an adult Maine Coon, so I've never had a kitten Maine Coon, and that's been quite the experience. The first few months are a riot. It feels like you just had a baby almost. You're constantly up with them, playing, they need attention. I work from home, lucky enough, so I've been able to give them the attention, but it's like biting at the ankles, constantly running around, needing that attention, but luckily now that he's 5 months old, things have calmed down and he's able to play with himself. At the beginning, at 2 months, I would play with him honestly 3 hours a day, and even that, I had automatic toys for him to play with, battery operated, which is I really recommend. They're not too expensive and you can get tons of different ones like laser pointers that run around, things like that. But now I would say I play with him about an hour a day still, so pretty consistent, but I think it's really important, especially if I live in a condo, so he doesn't go outside, of course, and so giving him all the energy to run around is very important for their health. As far as food and water goes, Maine Coons typically love water and snow. That's what they've been learned to love. They come from Maine. They came over from Europe to Maine, and the reason why they're called Maine Coons is because they look like raccoons, and so they're used to the snow. They love the snow and water, and so if you're able to accommodate to that, I think they would be very happy. For my cat Otis, he loves any taps running, anything like that. I keep cups around the house because he feels fancy drinking out of the cups. So obviously it's whatever you're comfortable with, but if you can reward them somehow with good behavior, with running water, they will love that. As far as food goes, they're big cats, so I remember reading somewhere a few different articles where they're like, contrary to popular belief, even though they're big, they won't eat a lot. Not true, they eat a lot, so be prepared for that. I feed Otis Royal Canine dry food and then wet food once in a while, so it's definitely pricier than a regular cat. He eats out of dog bowls because he eats so much and drinks so much, and because of that, he goes to his litter box a lot. So I think it's standard to clean out a litter box once a week, but I usually do it 2 or 3 times a week, or else he just runs out of room, and that's not really fair. So those are things to really consider, is often litter box cleaning and a lot of food. In regards to his general behavior, he has been a fantastic cat. Of course, each cat has their own personalities, but Maine Coons are typically very gentle, very wise creatures, but they also have a lot of personality. So they love to play, they love to talk back to you, but typically when raised right with a lot of love and attention, they aren't aggressive creatures at all. Even though Otis is only 5 months old, he sort of picks up on what I'm trying to say to him. If I give him a certain tone, if I give him a certain look, he gives me the same sort of thing back. So we already have fun with that, and it's really interesting just how smart he is and how much he can pick up on. So if you're looking for something like that, Maine Coons are fantastic in that sense. I was a child when I grew up with a few adult Maine Coons, and they came from households without children, so it was kind of a concern how that would look, but they were incredibly gentle, incredibly kind. Obviously, you have to treat them with respect as well, but they really go with the flow and they really adapt to what they need no matter what age. So if it's a small space, if it's a crowded house, they seem to work really well. And I was lucky with Otis because I got him from a household that was very busy. There was dogs, there was kids, so for him to come to a very quiet condo, it was very nice for him. One note on grooming is because they're so big, they have long hair, they have a lot of hair, they also have big claws. Otis's paws are huge for his age, and so grooming's important. He's a fantastic groomer. I think most Maine Coons are. He will just sit there for hours and groom himself, so that's always a plus, but I do like to brush him as well because he can't reach everywhere, and I like to clip his nails often because they are sharp and big. One last thing I'll note before I go is I mentioned a bit that he'll talk back to me and he's vocal and things like that, and he really is. So when he was young, he was very quiet. He would start to chirp. It's very common for Maine Coons to chirp, which is kind of just a quieter meow. But Otis, because I talk to him so much, I think he's now developed a full meow and he talks a lot. So again, that's something to keep in mind. It's not any sort of loud aggressive meow or anything like that, but he definitely talks, and he lets me know when he needs something for sure. So this is Otis. He's a little sleepy, bright light, but this is him. He is, as I said, he's been a lovely cat. So as you can believe, he's only 5 months old. He's got the really big paws, really big ears, typical Maine Coon stuff. Very gentle. He's probably annoyed that I have him right now, but he's not getting aggressive at all. He just hangs out. He's very sleepy. But you can see, look at 5 months old, huge fluffy tail, and I have him all bundled up. If I sort of bring him out, sorry Otis, if I bring him out, you can see he's very, very, very long. What am I doing? He's very, 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 very big for his age. So that's him at 5 months. So those are the typical behaviors, expectations that you should have when owning a Maine Coon. They are very similar to regular cats. I personally prefer them. They're a bit more intelligent, a bit more calm, and they're just beautiful. So if you're thinking about it, I definitely recommend. I have years and years experience, and I think I'll always have Maine Coons in my life. And I will end the video now by sharing a few clips of him growing up over the months and just some funny behaviors and quirks that he has. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you later. Bye.